This is the Backlog Exposed podcast, bringing you weekly discussions on gaming, as well as quick insights into sports, entertainment, and anything else that we can think of. To get in touch with us, ask questions, or just hang out and chat, join us in the Backlog Exposed Discord. Follow us on Twitter at @TheBacklogPod, or send us an email at thebacklogexposed@gmail.com. You can find all of our social media information, as well as many different ways to listen to our podcast by visiting our website, thebacklogexposed.com.
I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And we are
The Backlog
Exposed.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Backlog Exposed. Joe here with Kevin, as always. This is episode 16. It's September the 19th, 2018, and we're going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to run into some Blackout, the new Call of Duty Battle Royale game. I'm going to finish up on some Spider-Man. I completed that game. I'm going to get some more details about that. What you got for us, Kevin?
So, I got a couple things as well. Definitely want to talk a little bit about Battlefield 5 and Fortnite and how it all is meshing right now with Call of Duty coming out really soon. There's definitely some reviews that have been put out for the Blackout beta that just happened and just ended. And I also want to talk a little bit about Bow to Blood, which is a VR game that I had the pleasure to test out. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the episode. And we also are going to be talking a little bit about, I think Joe and I are going to discuss what we need to do a giveaway, because we have another VR game. We did talk about this a few weeks ago. We have a VR game to give away, and we have to come up with something. We have to figure something out here.
We'll have to figure out another game plan. I don't think the first one we had figured out about doing the trap kill in Fortnite didn't go over well. I guess no one wanted to participate to get that, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking because we need to grow the channel. I'm thinking something along the lines of we'll pick a random person who likes, shares, and something like that on Twitter. Likes, shares, and
that's easy to do.
Retweets our post or something, and then we can go through the list there and grab a random participant, something like that.
Yeah, dude, just put everybody's name in one of the random lottery things you can do online, and whoever it spits out, we'll give them a gift card or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we have the game Preda Vendetta Rising, which is a VR game. We have not had a chance yet to play it on my end. It's actually next on my list. Probably one of these days this week, I'm going to be jumping into that to play that and try and get through it. I know it's one of the longer VR games, so I don't think I'll be able to beat it anytime soon, but it is something I want to jump into. It has some crazy reviews. Some people hate it, and some people love it. The things that people say that they hate about it is that's repetitive. It's one of those grindy type games where you go through a dungeon. It's like a dungeon crawler type thing, where you walk through this dungeon and attack people or, kill enemies and whatnot, and those enemies drop things. And you have to complete your armor set, and you have to complete your weapon set by killing these enemies and picking up the pieces. The problem is when they programmed this game, the drop rate was really low. And so what that means is you have to go through the same dungeons over and over and over again. And unfortunately that, can become a...
Yeah, that gets super grindy, super quick. I can see where people get pissed off about that.
Yeah, but on the flip side, I guess it looks beautiful, and the people who don't mind the grind love playing through it. So those people, it's got this. If you hate the grind, you're gonna probably not fall in love with this game. But from the graphics perspective and from what I hear, the gameplay is decent. So I'm looking forward to jumping in there and giving my take on it, and also looking forward to giving this away to one of our listeners.
Sweet.
So you're saying you beat Spider-Man already?
Dude, 100%
That's
platinum
awesome.
trophy, baby.
I'm at about 50% right now, and I am loving this game. I was looking at some videos about the what's it called? The web, the progression of the web in all the different Spider-Man games and the flying through.
Yeah, man. This one was, all in all, my initial hype was already up there at 90 because the game looked awesome. Played about 4 or 5 hours of it. Really enjoyed it. And then me and the kids sat down over the weekend and just ran through it, man. And we had a blast. Caleb ended up fighting a couple bosses and actually winning those. Kaylee solved a couple of the puzzles that's within it. But yeah, I just kept running through it, man. It was fun. I didn't rush anything. I mean, I just took my time, played it.
Yep.
I would say to listeners out there, definitely complete your districts as you go. Don't skip ahead. And when you're in your district, swinging from place to place, if you see a red triangle pop up for a crime that's going on, go ahead and get it. Because I beat the game, had to go back through all the districts and do all those crimes again, and it took like a good 3-4 hours, and it was just grind after grind. It got real tiresome real quick, but it was fun.
That's what I'm going through right now. Is I like to do that, get everything done, and then follow the story.
Man, just complete your district 100% each time you can. And what I mean by that, every time you progress further in that game, it'll unlock something different in your district. Spoilers, spoiler alert, the further you get, you'll unlock sable compounds, or you'll unlock, different compounds. So, but as soon as something in the district you're in comes up, just go ahead and finish it. It's only going to benefit you because you get, XP and all that different kind of stuff. You level up.
Yeah, you start unlocking those suits, and they're badass, man. I can't tell which one's my favorite. I like the blue, the one with like the blue highlights.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about the suits is, a lot of people, were talking about on Reddit. You can wear whatever suit you want.
Yep.
And you can activate any special move you want.
Yeah, so once you start unlocking
if you activate the white suit, like I wore the white and black suit 80% of the time. That suit's awesome. And I used the electric robots that you could call down 3 electric robots and they would go attack your enemies. I used that. That was by far the favorite for me.
I don't think I have that one unlocked yet, but I got to tell you, my favorite so far that I have unlocked is the rock guitar.
Oh, I never even used it, man. I just didn't think it would do anything.
No, it clears enemies
cool.
out. Yeah, you just basically you slam the ground as you play a guitar riff, and it shoots everybody backwards. I mean, so if you're on the top of a building, you just knock like 4 or 5 guys right off the top of the building. They fly back pretty far. So it clears people out. It knocks people down. It seems to be one of the more powerful ones. And it looks cool too, because you can do it from the top of a building. You can jump off the building and start it, and you're just flying through the air, doing the guitar riff, and then you hit the ground and they all fly back. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. The storyline, I mean, I like the storyline. It was a good flow to it. It didn't seem like it was rushed or it jumped around a lot. I think it was a pretty good storyline.
I like how they integrate the characters in, the good guys and the bad guys, and the people or future bad guys, things like that. And I think that they do a good job of keeping the game. I mean, like I said, I'm only 50% through, so I haven't got a lot of storyline done yet. I'm just getting things done, but I'm far enough.
Have you played any other character yet?
Well, I played as MJ for, a little bit.
So it won't be too much of a surprise for you, but that was the only thing in the game that got kind of annoying, because I hate sneaking around in video games. It drives me nuts.
Having to go from one place to the next.
Metal Gear Solid is a great game, but I don't like it just for the fact that you have to sneak too much.
Did you play Watch Dogs?
So, what's that?
Did you play Watch Dogs at all?
Yeah, same thing with that. You got to sneak around way too much.
Yeah,
man.
I feel like you can. The benefits of Watch Dogs, I think, had a really cool perspective of the using the cameras and whatnot. And with the Spider-Man,
well, yeah, that was a little different with Watch Dogs. That's what you were really supposed to do in Watch Dogs, is kind of stay under the radar.
Yeah, I tried to do that.
When you play as MJ, it's kind of like you're not even supposed to be where you're at, so you're trying to like sneaking around. And I don't know. It was just annoying. I play
Spider-Man like that though, as best I can. Like when you go to a new place and trying to take over a base or something, I tried my best to sneak around and get as many silent kills and things like that.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the quest, and a lot of times they have these different.
I did this. I did for the most part, because it's easy to sneak around as Spider-Man, because you can just freaking web sling from one spot to the other. But as MJ, you're just walking all slow, and you're waiting for this guy to move, and you're walking around. I was like, oh my god, I could have done without the whole MJ walking around part.
What do you think of?
It was still fun though.
What do you think of? I've seen so many different Spider-Man movies, and sometimes Spider-Man is a spider who can shoot the webs out of his out of glands in his skin. And in this Spider-Man, you got a web slinger, a contraption that you pour liquid into, kind of like in the movie, Homecoming.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like that bet. I mean, well, I kind of like the way they did the game. I mean, I understand like he still has spider abilities, like where he sticks to the wall and he can climb the wall and all that stuff. I think it's pretty neat to have a web slinger, honestly.
yeah. Well, it's cool because you could upgrade it and do all these different little things with it. I think that
Yeah.
aspect of it, and it's perfect for me because when you get too detailed in games like this, where you have to do all these crazy things to upgrade your stuff. I mean, this is just simple. Like, hey, once you progress certain distance, you start unlocking some things, and those things allow you to unlock the next item in your list. As opposed to, go over here and find 5 rhubarb and go up there and get the milk thistle and combine them all.
Yeah,
and
dude.
once
I hear you on
who gives a
that.
shit about all that? It's just that's grindy. This is not grindy in that sense where it's just progression. So the grind is pushing forward.
A lot of people on Reddit though, they're talking about how it's like, you made this entire game, you can go throughout this entire city, but yet you have like 4 missions on the outside. I'm like, man, yeah, I get it's the same type of mission, but it's all different. Like all the bases,
Yeah.
even though you have to take out like Sable bases and Thug bases and Demon bases. Yeah, they're the same thing, but they're totally different fights.
Yeah.
Like the demons are way harder than the thugs, and Sable is way harder than the demons. And like you can't just go in there all willy nilly and just think you're gonna take out a Sable base and not have a little bit of trouble with it because it gets hard.
Yeah, the difficulty is easy to get around the city. Once you get the hang of the web slinging and all that. The freedom to fly is awesome. I think as I play it more, it would be cool to have fast travel because there's a lot of times where you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to the other side of the city.
Hey, Kevin, spoiler alert.
Oh, boy.
Fast travel's in there.
Is it really? Do I just not know how to use it?
I don't know. It depends on how far in the game you are.
Okay.
Once you get to a certain point, it unlocks fast travel. Like you can travel to all of the main points. So that like you can go to the feast, the feast house. You can go to the police station. You can go to Octo's lab, and all of those. And then once you unlock other areas of the game, you can go to all of those as well.
I have everything unlocked as far as I've been to every spot in the game. So I'm wondering if I just haven't. What do you just go to the map and click on it?
If you go to your map and you look and you hover over like the police station, it should say fast travel, hold X.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I bet you I got it. That's hilarious.
I bet you do have it. And it's funny because that's a trophy.
That'd be hilarious.
It says you have to ride the subway 5 times.
Uh-huh.
And that's what it's saying is you have to fast travel 5 times because when you fast travel, you get on the subway.
Okay.
And you're actually on the subway, like on your iPhone, watching videos and flipping through while you're on the subway.
That's great.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, well that's exciting because that was one of my qualms. It was like, I want to get from one part of the city to the next, and yeah, it's fun to web sling. I really love it. I haven't gotten sick of it, but sometimes you're just.
I hear you. I did the same thing. Like I was in the very northern part of the map. I'm like, damn, I gotta go all the way to the south.
Yep.
It's like 3,000 some odd meters. I'm like, man, I really don't want to web sling. I was like, you know what? I'm just going fast travel.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, cool. Well, I'll check that out after.
It's in there, man. It's pretty cool. And it's quick. It's pretty quick. Like I said, I have a loading screen. You're in the subway watching him do things. That's your loading screen. So it's kind of pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. And also the little mini games and stuff like the pipes and the circuits and things like that are a cool.
Dude, some of those bitches
get
hard.
Yeah, they get hard.
Man.
What I was going to say about the complexity of the game is it doesn't seem too difficult, but then some of these boss battles that show up are really difficult. Like the first time I fought, what's the guy with the fists, Striker or whatever his name is.
Oh, you talking about Shocker?
Shocker, yeah. It's like, you have to figure out what it takes to beat him. So you're over there trying to punch him. He has a force field. You can't get through.
Yep.
So then, you got to find something to throw at him, but he's knocking you back while you're, doing your thing. So yeah, it's fun. Each battle is different, very different. Like even the Kingpin battle at the beginning is like, that was difficult until you figure it out.
Fisk was tough, man. Cause I mean, you just get thrown in and it's kind of like, oh shit, how do I do this? But one thing I really, really like about what they did with the fighting is once you get to a certain part, it saves.
Yes.
So like there's always like 3 steps to beating a boss. That's just in like every video game. I mean, hell, that goes all the way back to Mario. There's always you got to hit him 3 times. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like in Spider-Man, you have 3 rounds basically before you beat that boss. So that first round, once you get to that point, there's like a cutscene, and then something changes, and then like that's where it saves if you die. And then if you go to the second round and die. So I like that, man, just for the fact that when kids like Caleb, in Kaylee's age, play a game, because when I was younger, that used to drive me nuts.
Yeah, having to start over from scratch.
Like Ninja Gaiden. And you get so far into this boss, he has 2 freaking bars left on his life, and then he kills you, and you got to start all over again.
Absolutely.
That used to drive me nuts. Now it's kind of like, hey, we're going to make these guys hard as hell to beat, but we're going to let you save each advancement you get, which is pretty awesome.
I agree. I definitely noticed that as well, and not that I've died yet, because I'm perfect at this game, but,
Oh, I hear you. Don't worry, you will.
No, I've died a lot.
Wait till you fight these some bitches later on in the game. They get tough.
The shocker fight, I got taken out quite a bit until I figured it out, and then I figured it out and still died. But like you said, I was all pissed off because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to start over. Oh no, I'm halfway through the fight with him.
Yeah, dude. When I was at my first boss fight, or when I first died at one of the boss fights, I'm like, son of a bitch, I was fighting this guy for 12, 15 minutes. Yep. And I got to start over, and it was like, boom, right back where I left off. I was like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that makes things a lot better. A lot better. So yeah, man, I'm right there with you with the review. I think that this game is in the 90s. It's one of the better games I've ever played, and it's the first game in a long time that's truly taken my desire to play Fortnite and misplaced it and put it here. Like I want to log in and play this game. My first intentions aren't to log in and just jump into a game of Fortnite. It's to log in and progress in Spider-Man, which,
dude, I plugged that game in from day one, and I was like, I'm platinum this game. I don't give a damn.
Yep.
And we just went at it. I mean, it's fun. It was different. It was fun. I really enjoyed all the fighting because, I mean, hell, you go to the moves list. There's like 50 moves that you have, and combos, and you can, web sling people. You can web them up, spin them around, throw them against walls, and
I love that.
Kick them off buildings and throw them at other people. I mean, stick them to car doors, rip the car door off and sling it at people. I mean,
you ever
awesome.
stick them to a car door and then rip that car door off and throw the person?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, and like Caleb just said, you can uppercut people in the air.
Yep.
Grab them with your web. Bring them back down.
The combos are phenomenal. So yeah, that's a good segue. Again, I think that Spider-Man is an ass-kicking game and something I'm going to continue playing through the end. And I still jump into some other games here and there.
Yeah, for our listeners, I'm not going to go into a lot of details. I mean, I'll give the review of the game as a most definite play. The graphics are amazing. Another good thing a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know this for the longest time, is the photo mode. Do you know about that?
Well, I use it, but I don't know how to go look at the photos or anything.
Well, so photo mode, I mean, you can literally at a moment's notice, like say you get in a boss fight or you're doing something and you're about to like attack somebody or uppercut them or throw them off a building or whatever. You can immediately hit your options button and take a picture. And dude, I've seen some awesome pictures.
Know the ones I tweeted out? I made a couple of magazine covers.
Yeah. That's like I said, those are awesome, man. So a lot of people don't know that's a thing you can do photo mode, but that's it's just a little tidbit in there. But like I said, the graphics are awesome, the gameplay is amazing, all the fighting styles and the ways you can fight are amazing.
Let me ask you this:
the boss fights are fun.
If you
There's
didn't,
a lot of different techniques you got to do.
Yeah.
What's up?
If you didn't have a PlayStation, would you recommend people buy a PlayStation to play this game? Or
all right, look here, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was an Xbox person and I had the money, I would definitely buy a PS4 just for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Dead serious. Matter of fact, a buddy at my work, Chris, was talking to me about it, and I told him that, Spider-Man's fun, blah, blah, blah. He went and bought a PlayStation just to play Spider-Man. And he was like, dude, this game is amazing.
I think this is definitely a discussion for a future podcast, but, I have both. You have both. I actually subscribe to Xbox Live, and I subscribe to PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus is by far the better service.
I've only been I've only been a PlayStation person, so I really can't nag or knock Xbox One. But when it comes to the systems, in my opinion, the PlayStation has a better gaming service, I guess you could call it.
Yep.
But when it comes to like a home theater system, all in one, Xbox has it destroyed. I mean, you can do everything
right there
when it comes to like your internet, your cable, everything with one remote you can do everything with one remote. But PlayStation's not an entertainment system.
Not at all. No. One of the things that Xbox is doing too is backwards compatibility. So games have been popping up left and right that are decent games.
I told you about the Modern Warfare 2 is available now.
Well, holy shit, dude. I put
One.
the Modern Warfare 2. So here's a funny little side story. I put Modern Warfare 2 into my Xbox 360 about 2 months ago. My buddy Johnny was over and we were talking about it. And I said, you know what? Let's see what it's like. I wonder if there's any matches going on. So I threw that in there. And the game felt like I was playing on slow motion. It was so weird. Everything was sluggish. Just turning was slow.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, is this really how it was when we played? Now, I don't know if there was something wrong with the server or what, but it really did feel weird. So they just made that game.
No, it was probably that speed.
Yeah, it's just things have changed.
They could probably go on a 360.
Well, now they changed it up because they put that game on Xbox One. It's backwards compatible. It's up and running. And you can get in a game right now, and it feels like you're playing a current gen game. It's still got the same graphics, but the speed, the response
aren't really that bad.
No, I mean it's almost the same. I think they've updated the engine since, but it's
well, they probably did a 1080p update or upscale or
yeah,
something.
the upscale, and it looks good, it feels good, and I played a couple of rounds, and I was like, man, right back in it. Modern Warfare 2 is by far my favorite Black Ops game.
That's one of the best all times right there.
Yeah, and so I just jumped right in.
Speaking of Call of Duty, did you get in the beta at all and play?
I did. I played the hell out of the beta.
Dude,
this is such a great
that game is gonna be amazing.
This is going to be, you said it a couple months ago, but now that we've actually had a chance to jump in, this is a groundbreaking game.
This is going to be a Fortnite killer.
It's going to be a Fortnite killer because here's the problem, and we talked about this before. The problem with Fortnite right now, well, it's not a problem for Epic, but it's a problem for the players who, like you and I, this demographics of people who are just want to get in and play a fun game. You don't want to be shit on or talked to by a fucking 10-year-old kid who's talking down to you like, every game you get into. I don't play groups. I play a lot of, we've talked this way too much. I don't want to get into it too much, but I personally log in and I don't have anybody online on my friends list to play with. So I jump into a lot of games by myself, and these open parties, it's just constantly kids who are super rude, who don't care to win. They suck at the game. Some of them are good, but at the end of the day, it's just not fun. It's not fun to be playing. And Fortnite is loaded with kids between the ages of 4 to 10. And
oh yeah, dude. I mean, because that's to me, that's a game that kids could play and not really worry about what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kid friendly. They're tearing trees down. They're shooting other people, but there's no blood. There's no real, whatever to it. It's all cartoony.
They teleport out instead of die. It's the whole game. The whole game is meant to be that way. I love the one thing that Fortnite brings to the table that no game has been able to replicate that I'm aware of is the building aspect and the fast building and the ability to get out of dodge.
I hate the building.
See, I love that aspect of Fortnite. I'm not good at it. I'm not, but when I watch elite players, when I watch these tournaments and stuff of the really, really good players, that's the stuff I'm awed by. I'm inspired to get in there and try to be as good as those players, but I can't. I just am not good. Not like that. I mean, I'm the best player ever, but I'm not as good as some of those guys. And so,
just to talk about, Blackout, like me and Adam played a ton.
Yeah. I saw you guys in there. I wanted to jump in, but you were in duos and stuff, so I couldn't join you.
You should text me. We got in squads. But so me and Adam, I ended up getting over 40 kills in the amount of time we play, which isn't a lot of kills, but we're still learning the game, and I'm trying to figure out what the perks and all this stuff. And then whatever. I have over 40 something kills, and there was one match I had 4 kills, and one of the maps that I did that is I killed 2 squads, two duo teams myself.
Yep.
Because guess what? I got the drop on them, shot them. They turned around, returned fire, but guess what they didn't do? Put that stupid ass wall up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they were running around, because one thing I like about Blackout is you can heal on the run, which I think's awesome.
Yeah, my first interaction
they're
with
off
that,
running, trying to heal, but I'm just lighting them up with the Titan, which is one of my favorite guns. That big LMG.
That's a heavy gun, man. That thing is powerful. You can feel it.
It shits on people, dude.
That's the difference with the Call of Duty guns, man. No game can really replicate that feeling. I don't know why, but it feels heavy. It feels hard. It feels like you're really gonna fuck people up with that gun. And the Titan, and what's the other one? There's it's the P9. It looks like the P90, but it's the submachine gun. Begins with a C. I can't remember the name of it, but I love that gun.
Oh, dude, there's so many guns in that game. It's crazy. And then of course I pick up a sniper rifle, and it's awesome.
It's on point
because I love sniping.
You don't got bloom to worry about. You're just picking people off left and right.
You do have bullet drop, which is fine.
Bullet drop is fine, but bloom
you're hitting
is...
people from 200. I hit a guy from 200 meters, dude, and just dropped him. It's so fun to do that.
Man.
In one of the matches, I had 5 kills, but I had like 5 knockdowns, and I pushed around the side of the mountain, got up behind a rock, killed one of the guys, went around behind the building, knocked the same guy down 4 times on top of this building because he had no clue where I was at. So I'd knock him down. His buddy would pick him up. His buddy would go back downstairs because I could watch him through the windows. He was looking out the windows. His buddy would peep up, look in the other direction, knock him again. His buddy would run back up. They did this 4 times. I could never kill his buddy because he kept moving back and forth through the windows. But the guy on the roof just Adam's like, dude, what are they doing? I'm like, I wish his buddy would come up there, dude, and freaking look around real quick because I could hit him too.
So
I knocked the same guy down 4 times.
This is really my style of game in the sense that I like pushing forward. Since the Fortnite days of that feeling.
Well, I mean, you can push in this game. That's the beauty
what I'm saying,
of it.
yeah.
You can actually push in this game.
I like the pushing forward, but I also like the stealth aspect. I love the fact that they've factored in the what is it called? The how in the different classes have like marathon or whatnot. They've factored that in the perks by picking things up, and you can apply a perk for 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, however long it lasts. Quiet steps.
Oh yeah, me and Adam both had dead silence.
Dead silence.
That. We're rushing everybody because they can't hear us coming.
And they really matter in this, so they've done a really good job.
Oh, they definitely matter. I got shit on at the dam. Me and Adam was going through. I had a golden gun. He had a golden gun, and we're downstairs. We split up. We're picking more loot up, and then all of a sudden,
just people on top of you.
And I would just, I was murdered. I was like, oh my god. I was like, they got dead silent on. There's no way.
Yeah, and they did an awesome job of integrating the different maps like Nuketown and Fire
hell
Range.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. My favorite place is the Estates.
Well,
where all those
I love Estates.
Cars are.
Yes, and that's the one of the best maps from Black Ops 2, I think it was, if you recall.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and the Asylum. I love
the Asylum's cool.
So for those of you who have not played this game, okay, so one of the things that they did, they took all the areas on the island that you can go to, that you drop into. And again, I mean, maybe we're getting way too ahead of ourselves, but Blackout is a version of Call of Duty that is a battle royale. So it is just like Fortnite or PUBG or all these games that are out where you have 100 people on the map or 88 people or whatever, however many people they have.
They actually, the last 3 hours of the beta, they upped it to 100 people.
Yeah, so they were stress testing that really good. But yeah, you have a certain number of people, a finite number of people, and you drop in, and whether it's solos or duos or squads of 4 people, teams of 4, you're playing to the death. And it's like King of the Hill, the last man standing. So what they've done is they've taken the maps that are in the game, and they've sprawled them out and put them into an island. So you have, if you recall, Firing Range or Asylum or any of these maps that are in the game,
Yep, you got Nuketown, you got Firing Range, you got the Asylum, you have the Estates, you have the Dam. I don't know if that's new or if it was off of another Call of Duty. I can't remember,
I
but that's a
think
place you can go.
Yeah, I think that's part of the new maps. But yeah, they've integrated it so that while it still has the same exact feel and layout as the other maps that you've played, it's integrated into this new world so that things look a little different. Everything's kind of in the same place, but it just, it's not necessarily the same exact avenues you would take to get from point A to point B. For example, Nuketown, some of the buildings that you would normally have gone into, you can't get into in this. Or like the windows aren't available, they're boarded up or something.
Yeah, but it's awesome how they did it. And just for, people that don't know, there is a graveyard south of the Asylum that has a boss in it.
Really?
On every map. Every time the map starts, you can land there. If you kill the boss, me and Adam did it. Took forever, like a good probably 5 minutes to kill this guy. He drops however many's in your party, tier 3 armor.
Really?
And I think he drops 1 or 2 golden weapons and a shit ton of ammo and bandages and everything. Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is in the Asylum, if you land in the Asylum, you're going to have to find a gun and you're going to have to use it whether or not other people landed there because there's zombies in the Asylum. So it's another aspect of the game to where if other people are around because they're going to have to defend themselves as well. And they're going to know you're around because you're going to have to defend themselves. You can't just outrun some of these zombies. I did not know about the boss.
You're not outrunning zombies, bro. Them some bitches are quick.
They're quick and they're angry and they get to you. So you got to fight them off, man. And it's just badass. I have a couple of...
And they drop stuff though. So, and it's not just the Asylum. There's, it's either red or blue marker indicators on the map. And you'll hear the music change when you get close. And usually there's a loot crate in there. If you take out all the zombies,
really?
There's a loot crate you can go open and get really good guns.
Interesting. I didn't experience that. I did see some zombies throughout the map, but not.
Me and Adam found a couple of them, and we went and won, and got a rocket launcher and a sniper rifle, and a bunch of perks and attachments and ammo and bandages and stuff. So it's worth it if you can run in as a duo and, take everything out in about 20, 30 seconds and get your stuff and get out. Because, you make a lot of noise. You're shooting up hell. But if you can get in and get out, it's worth it.
One of the reviews I read about it, it summed it up pretty clearly, and I felt exactly the same way. This is the perfect mix of PUBG and Fortnite. It's the combination of the two in the sense of how you get around, how you play, the actual mechanics of the games and things like that. You don't obviously have any building or things like that, and you obviously also have a more stable environment because you're being, you got Sledgehammer Games and what's the other company? It's Activision. These guys are putting together a stable environment for the first time. PUBG is a pretty looking game if you play it, but it's also not stable. It's sluggish.
The servers crash all the time, and it's just
in this game here.
Well, Blackout it had flaws, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's the beta. You knew going in that the graphics weren't going to be up to par because they don't care about the graphics right now. They care about the servers. So they overloaded the servers, made sure the servers could take the people. They did all that. I only had a few problems with lag, but that was probably on my end because for some reason where we're at late at night, the internet kind of slows down.
Right about 9 o'clock at your house.
What's that?
Right about 9 o'clock at your house. It's like someone turns a dial off.
9 to 10 o'clock on the dot, dude. My internet bogs down a lot. I don't know why. But, I didn't really we didn't get kicked from anything. We got kicked a few times in the lobby, but never in the game did we get kicked out. Never in the game did I experience getting killed by someone that was, lagging or moving all sluggish. None of that happened. I'm excited to see what Blackout looks like
at the end
when it's running
pure
4K. It's gonna be nuts. And you can also, if you're on the top of the construction yard, the actual top of the building, if you jump off the top of it, you pull out your wingsuit, which is awesome.
How did you deploy it? Because I figured out how to do it, or
You just hold down X. I think it
Okay.
is X or whatever. I think it's X, and you just deploy it. You got to be at a certain height.
Yeah,
But
I was
I
able
did
to
it,
do
so I
it.
jumped off in the lobby, and I was wingsuit all the way down to the ground.
That's cool. Yeah, I was able to do it, but I didn't know how I did it. So I wingsuited down, and actually a couple times I tried it and I died because I didn't pull out the wingsuit. So I have a couple of gripes about it, but they're very minor and they're not something that would stop me from playing the game. The first one is when I get to a map that I feel like I know, and I just mentioned it a little while ago that things don't look exactly the same. The layout is the same, but like, I don't know, a part of me just wants Nuketown to be Nuketown, not, the new version of Nuketown.
Not blown up Nuketown.
Yeah, or firing range. Like, it looks similar, but it's not the same. It's not exactly the same.
I mean, that's what I was hoping, honestly, was if they brought Nuketown back.
Yeah, I
and
want
they left
those.
it alone.
I
Like, you
want
can still, like,
those
you should
games.
be able to get in those windows still.
Yep.
Look over top of those buses.
Come down the stairs,
stuff like that.
shoot the guy out the front door.
Come down. Yep.
But you don't have the hedges.
But I get it. I get it. They blew up Nuketown at the end of every map in that game. They blew it up.
Yeah, and even firing range and some of these other
maps. They blew it up,
maps.
and it's good. So.
Well, you mentioned Estate. Estate definitely has the same layout, and the buildings look almost identical and things like that. So
pretty much.
I like that.
You can still lay down at the bottom, watch the stairs, go upstairs. Yeah.
But Estate's way on the outside, so as soon as the circle starts closing, you're pretty much always having to get away from Estate. So that's not a great place to land because of how the game works.
Same with Nuketown. Nuketown's kind of out in the
yeah, and there's only
bit,
there's only 2 points in which you can get back to the island, or you're swimming. So
there's one bridge. That's it.
one bridge. So you're kind of screwed if you go to
one
Nuketown.
bridge, or you're swimming. Yep.
And you can gear up pretty much anywhere. So I guess the risk isn't always necessarily worth the reward to go to Nuketown.
I mean, you can land, like me and Adam landed all the way out in the desert, random as hell, in like 5 trailers. We ended up getting 2 guns, some body armor. I mean, the gear's everywhere. That's not the problem.
Yeah,
the problem I have is picking the shit up. It takes
body
forever.
armor. Oh, well, they did. I don't know if you noticed in the last day or two of the beta, it was almost instant. So they did speed that up. That I noticed it significantly, because in the first day of the beta,
I'm just hoping when the game fully comes out that it's an instant square pickup.
Yep.
And you're gone.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to wait.
I wish they would do auto pickup of ammo, because that would be awesome. But I don't know if they're going to.
And that's another thing that Fortnite does a little bit better, is the ability to instant pick up this, that, the other thing, the ability to instant open doors. I mean, Fortnite has a little bit of a different game style, but at the same time, if you're the first person there and you have an open spot, you should be able to get that gun straight in your hands. You shouldn't have to bend over and look down and all that. I get killed just trying to pick up a freaking weapon in this game.
I got killed quite a few. I bet I got killed probably 5 or 6 times landing at a spot on a gun, and I'm pressing square to pick it up, and then someone comes up behind me and shoots me.
Yeah, and
but I mean, it's just the beta though, so everything's slow and everything's.
The last 2 seconds of landing feels super awkward when you're coming in hot with the the parachute. It's like you don't get to direct yourself for the last 2 seconds.
Nope. And the other thing that cracks me up is next time you can't play it. Well, I don't think there's another beta coming out, but if you look at the map and if you're looking at the map and where you want to land, there are 2 totally different spots.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
If you're on the map and it's like, oh, the bus is like, it's a foot away on the map, but you're on top of your spot already.
You got to dive bomb straight down. I noticed that as well. So comparing this to Fortnite, you can't really compare it because they're different games, but they're both Battle Royale style. Like you said, I think that this is definitely a Fortnite killer in a sense. It's going to pull a lot of people away. I've already noticed a lot of the streamers that I watch. I mean, I have 15 or 20 streamers on my favorites list on Twitch. I kind of bounce around between some of them. Some of them I never watch.
I'm not going to speak of streamers' names because I watched quite a few of them over the weekend, and they were playing Blackout. But I watched 4 big streamers, and all 4
were playing Blackout.
Pretty much said this. They were all playing Blackout, and they all said the same thing, that this is way better than PUBG.
Oh, yeah.
It feels better, looks better than PUBG.
Yep.
And that's something big because PUBG still has, I think, 8 million people playing.
Now, remember, too, you're also getting the full Call of Duty game along with this awesome new game mode. So you're going to be able to go play, you're going to be able to bounce from regular Call of Duty.
You're getting 2 games. Yeah. Honestly, you're getting 2 games.
They're doing it right. And it really, this is another key thing here, because when you're looking at games like Fortnite and they're free to play, but they're really making billions of dollars, it's not as free to play as it sounds, because the game's about emotes, the game's about costumes, it's about having fun.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty's not. It's not free to play. And they have a base of people that have slowly over the years receded just a little bit, because they still sell. That Call of Duty still sells plenty of games so that they don't have to panic.
Oh, yeah.
And they always will, because of the brand that they've built. They always put out a good enough game. But the map packs and the paying for season passes. I think this is going to push
them over the top, though, man.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is they finally stopped doing the same exact thing every time. This is different. This feels different.
Way different.
And I think it was Dr. Disrespect he was playing, and he just flat out said, "This is Call of Duty to the next level. This is the future." And it really is. It's a awesome feel. You can
There's no more running on the walls, no more exosuits, no more freaking jetpacks, no more of that stupid bullshit. It's on the ground, Call of Duty with good weapons, and it's back to the basics, basically.
And also, you don't have to sit there and worry about a class. You don't have to sit there and worry about what perks you want. You get those along the way. It's about how good you are. That's it. It's not about,
That's what it comes down to,
Yeah.
and that's what me and Adam was talking about. I was like, look, I can come in this lobby, I can shit on 4, 5, 6 people. We didn't win any games, which I'm fine with that. I don't need to win a game. I mean, yeah, we could have won plenty of them if we had just hugged the circle and waited the last 2 and then snuck in and got a kill. But to me, going in and killing 4, 5, 6 people a match, that's better than winning to me.
That's fun.
I mean, we were shitting on people, dude. I mean, it was like one of my best games. I had, I think, 4 or 5 kills. But Adam, I was sneaking around the back of the trees, and then Adam's like, "Oh, they see me," so they started attacking Adam. They knocked him down, finished him, and I popped up, knocked his buddy down, and as his buddy's throwing grenades at me, I'm already around behind the tree. I'm already behind of him, and I knock him down. So I got those 2 kills. Went down the road a little bit, shooting a dude with a shotgun in the window, and his buddy came around the back, and I killed him with the Titan. So you're exactly right. It's about how good you are.
Yep.
I'm not a very good Fortnite player because I don't build. I'm a decent Call of Duty player. I can hold my own in Call of Duty. Because for one, the gun shoots straight. The gun's
You're
gonna
not giving
shoot
yourself
when you
enough
aim.
credit. You're good at both. It's just that Fortnite adds this dynamic that you're not used to. I mean, you focus on, you can handle the gun in Fortnite, no problem. But you're right, the building is an aspect that if you can be elite if you can become a builder.
Oh, in Fortnite, it's literally 60-40. 40% gun, 60% building.
Yep.
You don't have to be a very good gun player. You just gotta know how to build.
Ninja or whoever else, sometimes they don't even have any ammo and they can just build around people until they, trap the people and kill them with a trap.
Yeah.
It's all about building at that point.
It's all about building in Fortnite, which is fine. I mean, if that's your, your cup of tea, drink it. I'm flushing that shit down the toilet. I'm done with Fortnite.
Well, one of the things I wanted to mention too about that game and how Call of Duty's got it's got a couple more weeks before it comes out. So we just experienced the beta. People are hungry for it. They're ready for it. And here you have season 5 of Call of Duty of Fortnite. Now, I played Fortnite since it started about a year ago. It was the Battle Royale. That's when I jumped in. I went Battle Royale. I did a Battle Royale plus the Save the World, but I did more Battle Royale than Save the World. For the last year, since September of 2017, the primary game in my life is Fortnite. I've been playing the hell out of it. And some days I'd play nothing but Fortnite. Some weeks I'd play nothing but Fortnite. And something happened when Tilted Towers dropped in Fortnite. So when the game started changing, I jumped away. For some reason, I just didn't like what they were doing, and I jumped into the Save the World. And that's when I really started going ham with that. I tried to get you into it. You actually weren't really into Fortnite at the time.
No, I wasn't really into it at all. And then, I mean, I tried playing Save the World and stuff. I just thought it was boring.
Yeah, but you didn't get into Fortnite Battle Royale until after I had started. I mean, you played a little bit here and there, but you and Adam and Ray started jumping in quite a bit once I started playing the Save the World. I noticed that you guys were always playing, and you kept trying to get me in, and Kamikaze would come in and do stupid shit.
But you're like, nah, man, I'm gonna play Save the World for a while.
Yeah, I
All right,
loved
it's
it.
fine.
I love the Save the World game is a game. It gets old, it gets boring, but it really does provide enough content for a solid amount of hours of play. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours of play before it really gets old enough to stop. So you have a good quality game there. I played the hell out of it, and then season 4 there was a story. I always watch the streamers. I always turn on Twitch and watch that on the background. So even though I wasn't playing Fortnite, I watched it. Or I wasn't playing Battle Royale, I still watched it. And it wasn't until midway season 4 I said, I got to get back into this. This is fun. There's a story here. I can't wait for season 5. I want to be in this. So I jumped in, I started playing with you, Joe, and we had a lot of fun with it. We won a bunch of games, and the story and the build up to season 5 was phenomenal. I mean, it was really, really good. People couldn't wait. What was season 5? Shit. Season 5 has been stupid. And this is where
it's been. I mean, it's been getting real stupid lately, honestly.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's just got.
It's their run out of ideas. I'm not gonna lie. The first
you're
3-4
100%
seasons
right.
Actually, they were good. They had good detail, good ideas, and blah blah blah. And now it's just like, oh, we're gonna throw in this giant cube.
And then
like, what the fuck?
did you see the final form of the cube today? Did you hear what happened?
Yeah, it went to Loot Lake, and now Loot Lake is a freaking bounce pad.
Yep, the whole entire Loot Lake is a bounce pad. That's what this entire season's buildup has been, was Loot Lake is a bounce pad. You know how long that lasted? How much fun that was? About 3 minutes, and people are done with it. It's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to go to Loot Lake, because...
It was dumb. I was thinking it was going to, like, transform Loot Lake into something.
Yeah, there was all these theories that it was
drain the water and there was going to be a whole nother area, but no, it's a bounce pad. I'm like, this is stupid.
And so you can get from one end to the other quicker, but like, there's still no loot there. It's still not worth it to go there. So it's just, there's nothing great about it. They're running out of ideas, or they have a ton of ideas, but they're in the back pan, like in the back of the back burner. The problem.
I mean, they're all pointless ideas though. Like these LTM modes. Like the one with the crystal where you gotta get on the so stupid.
Yeah.
You have three winners. You gotta catch a bus to get out.
Well, I found out that
llama gym.
My neighbor Johnny was telling me that you can just sit there. You don't even have to. They keep dropping. So if you're the last person on the map, you can wait for everyone else to play and win, and then the jewels keep coming and the buses keep coming. So you can just wait it out in a bush. Wait for everyone to go. You'll be the last person on the map, and then you can just go get your own jewel and then go get on a bus and take off and win.
Really?
Yeah, so they didn't even... There's just a lot of... it's a money grab. So here's the funny thing, is the game, when I played it, before they even accepted money, I mean, they didn't even have anything. You couldn't buy anything. The only thing you could buy was Save the World, and you could buy stuff within Save the World, loot llamas and things like that. That's when I was playing Save the World. Well, now, they're charging $20 for frickin' skins, and it's astounding. I mean,
people's buying them.
And I have bought them, and some of them are funny and fun, but they lose the what's the term? The unique.
At the beginning, they were wanting to have fun with the game.
Well, at the beginning, they were unique,
money, and now it's like, what can we do to make even more money?
Yeah, I mean, at the very beginning,
they've lost the focus of making the game interesting, and now they're gaining focus on, all right, we've made billions of dollars.
How do we keep making billions of dollars?
I'm not worried about the game no more. Okay, cool. Put the cube in the lake. Let's release these 15 skins.
Yes.
These 15 gliders. These 15 pickaxes.
And what's funny,
and let's only charge, I don't know, $7 for. Come on, man.
Well, the cheapest pickaxe is like fucking $8. It's like, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're running out of ideas.
Who decides like what's a $20 skin versus what's an $8 skin? Especially when the $20 skin pops up every freaking week. There's a website that tells you how often certain things pop up. Well, here's a funny story. One of the skins that came out was a unique skin. You had to pay money for it. It was like a blockbuster pack or something, and it said in there that this is one of a kind and it will never be released again. It was in the fine print, and it just came out again. So people are pissed off. People who paid the $7 or whatever, $10 for that skin, are saying, I want my money back for that for that purchase because you lied. You said that this was going to be, I'm the only one chance to get this skin, and now here it is. And it's so petty, but at the same time, why?
No, it's not petty. It's the truth, because you got people that buy those skins to separate themselves from everybody else.
Exactly.
Like, oh shit, he's a John Wick. He must be a badass. No, dude, everybody that plays that game can get John Wick. You just got to play.
Well,
you don't even have to win.
What if they just released the Galaxy skin for like a $10 download, and all these people who paid $900 for a phone?
It's going to happen.
So
it's going to happen. Give it a couple months. The Galaxy skin will be released for 1,800 V-Bucks, 2,000 V-Bucks, and then everybody's going to buy it.
Yep. And that's the crazy part is like Fortnite right now, Epic Games is worried about containing the money, growing the money, and money. And then you have a game like Call of Duty, which has been there before. Call of Duty has seen the money. Maybe Epic is making more money right now than any game ever, but Call of Duty as a series, I think, is one of the top games ever in the history of gaming. And it's got such a concrete base that even when they have a couple of years that suck, they still sell enough games to be the top dog.
What they're doing right now is going to put them back up there.
Exactly.
With in the green, people's on board. All the streamers are already talking about they can't wait for it to come out. If you've noticed, they've already started doing LTM modes in Blackout. They had a pistols and SMGs only.
I didn't see
LTM mode. Yeah.
That's cool.
So, they're going to have a sniper mode only, and, the same shit that everybody else does. But, Fortnite to me is becoming a turd. You can only polish a turd so much.
Yep.
A turd's a turd at the end of the day. And that's what it's becoming, is just a turd.
Well, all it took was a game like Spider-Man, something really good. Well, actually, not just Spider-Man. I mean, I played through Detroit Become Human, and I played Spider-Man, and I've been playing some other VR games that I think it's going to be a separate podcast. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. I'll just talk to myself on the mic for about 5 or 10 minutes about some of these games that I've been playing. But the fact is, I had a game that sucked the life out of me for a year, and I really just couldn't play anything else. I was addicted to it, and now all of a sudden,
it's not even that point. With another problem is PlayStation. PlayStation hasn't really released anything, man, in a long time. Me and Adam played Far Cry 5. We platinumed that game. Awesome game. There hasn't been really any PlayStation games that's got my attention. I mean, they did come out with Need for Speed, and I beat that. I only need 3 trophies for a platinum for that. But you still go back to Fortnite because that's all there is multiplayer wise. That really is the only multiplayer game out right now for PlayStation.
Well, I want to touch on this other game that everyone's well aware of, Battlefield 5. I played the beta of Battlefield 5, and I didn't want to. I wasn't impressed with any of the videos I saw of people playing it. But for some reason I got into that game, and I felt like home. Whatever they did between Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, as far as mechanics and visuals and feedback of the control, just the way the controller feels, it felt more like a Battlefield Bad Company 2/Battlefield 3, which were the best Battlefields in my opinion. It felt more like that than any of the crazy stuff that they started doing with Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1. The Battlefield 5 mechanics felt phenomenal. And Joe, if you play this game, I know that you're more of a Call of Duty type player, but the sniping and the far, like the more distant type battles and stuff were incredible. It's such a different game.
I'll have to check it out, man. I mean, it did get some good reviews. So
it just felt so good. And one of the modes that they put us in was Conquest, and it was 750 kills or 45 minutes or something like that. So some of these games truly just took 45 minutes a round. And while that sounds crazy, it felt like a complete game. Like you get into a map and there's so many, the maps were so big, and the points, some of them were really close quarters, some of them were far long distances, so you have to run from A to B. They did a good job of spawning, all that different stuff. It felt phenomenal. And if you played a certain amount of the beta, you got to play, or you got to get a key for the Battle Royale beta that's coming out. I did not make it to that because I didn't get into the beta till the last day or two.
Oh,
But
okay.
I really am interested in what Battlefield is going to do. And they pulled back. We said it a couple weeks ago that they're going to be doing their launch in November instead of October. I think it's smart because now they can take a look at some of the things and tweak just a little bit here and there. Nobody knows what their Battle Royale is going to be like. And
which is probably smart.
it's super smart. Who knows what they can do? I mean, maybe it's going to suck, but the EA has been doing some really stupid shit over the last couple of years. Just like Call of Duty, just like Activision and Sledgehammer and all these, that's about money, money, money. Well, then all of a sudden you realize, okay, we're good.
I need to put out some quality
Gotta put out
shit,
some
or I'm
quality
gonna
shit.
lose
We
everything.
we know that Battlefield is capable of being a quality game for the people that love it. We know Call of Duty is capable of being a quality game for the people that love it.
You know what's crazy though is the fact is we may never play multiplayer Call of Duty again.
Yeah, it might just be the Battle Royale. It might be what we want to do.
It may just be bad. See, and that's the thing that are they gonna run this game for, let's say the first 6 months? Are they gonna have dedicated people for the servers of multiplayer and dedicated people for the servers of the Battle Royale? Or is it gonna be like Save the World and Battle Royale, where they like, you know what? Save the World was our priority. Battle Royale took off. We'll run with that. We're gonna put Save the World in the back.
That's going to be real
Because
interesting.
there's gonna be a lot of people that want to play multiplayer though.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of people that want to play the Battle Royale mode because they want to go in the multiplayer mode and respawn. You know what I'm saying?
But the other cool thing is this could pull a lot of people who have never really played Call of Duty but have played Fortnite. And
oh, it's gonna hurt Fortnite. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a ton of people leave the Fortnite realm due to the fact that it's a majority of kids. I'm not down on the kids. I'm just saying the majority of these players are kids playing Fortnite.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, you throw my daughter that's 10 and my son that's 6 on some Fortnite, I'm putting money on them. My kids are good, dude.
Yep.
If my daughter can outbuild, and I'm not even kidding you, I've got videos of her building. She's quick. Caleb don't build. Caleb can shoot.
But
yes,
he can.
For them, when they play a duo together, Kaylee's building, Caleb's shooting. And I'm telling you, they're pretty ridiculous. Kaylee just won a duo match yesterday.
But as an adult,
a squad match yesterday.
As an adult, if I don't,
she's up there building fortresses and shit, and her team's up there and they're shooting.
That's awesome.
So it's not always about how many kills you get; it's how you're playing the game.
Absolutely, but as an adult, you're not. If I didn't know your kids, I don't want to be in a group with them. I just think as a 40-year-old man, it's a little weird playing with.
Yeah, obviously,
a 7-year-old.
It's weird. Yeah.
And,
I mean, who wants to? I mean, as a grown ass man, you'd feel weird
Yep.
being in a lobby with a 7, 8, 9-year-old kid. Like, to me, that's just weird. That's why
Absolutely.
my kids never ever play with a mic. They first thing they do is they log on, they create their own party, and they can go play. If they want to play a duo, they can. A squad, they can. But they're never going to go in there with the mic on talking to people ever.
What's funny is Jagger sneaks it. He's 7. He gets in there. He jumps in and he throws the mic on when I'm not. I try not to let him do that. I tell him to get into a party like you do. But he's made a couple of friends who are kids his age that he jumps into games with. He just sees if they're in a game or whatever. And these kids play. That's all they do is play Fortnite. So at any given time, he can jump in and start playing with these kids. And all they do is scream in each other's ears. It's just, and they all love it. They love it. But they go into playground mode and they just shoot each other and scream and laugh, and they're having fun. But like, I couldn't carry a conversation with any of these kids.
Nah, dude. But that's what I'm saying. And if you've noticed, Playground is coming around more and more often. What's going to happen is Playground is going to become a constant, permanent play mode.
Yep.
And then there's just going to be a shit ton of kids just flood in and play Playground because my kids love it. I mean, Kaylee and Caleb will go in there and they'll build
Yeah, it's a
these
great
sky
concept.
fortresses, and they'll run these golf carts off the edges, and
Yeah.
they'll do trick shots, and Playground's going to take over that game, and before you know it, it's going to be a bunch of kids playing.
It's still hilarious because the people who actually paid for the game, the Save the World aspect, they don't have anything like any of the stuff that Battle Royale's getting. There is no mode where you can go practice building. There is no mode where you can... I mean, I guess you could, but the problem in Save the World is...
Well, the controls are different.
No, they actually updated it so the controls can be the same now, but
okay.
But you can't crouch and Save the World for some reason. Stupid little things like that. But in Save the World, if you go to like your base to build and practice building, you're using your own materials for one.
You're using your materials that you had to go harvest.
Yeah, and you need those materials.
I get what you're saying.
But also you got to break everything because it doesn't clear out when you leave. So if you build some stupid building, and you can only build in each of your zones, you can only build so much. Otherwise, it stops you from being able to build. So once you start getting to the higher levels, you need every brick you have, and it has to be placed in a good spot. Because when you get to like a level 10 storm shield, you got to have the resources and the building materials to defend. So you can't just go in there and build. It's just funny to me that you have this game that actually started in 2011 that was based off of the Save the World campaign. It took off, and then they made the Battle Royale on a whim, as a fun thing to do. The first 6 months or 5 months of Battle Royale had nothing to do with money. They weren't making money. They weren't selling anything. There was only default skins. You couldn't buy any V-Bucks to enhance your skins. And then all of a sudden it happened, man. They did that season 1. You could buy skins. They put
all downhill from there.
Put the store in, and now that game doesn't give a shit about Save the World. They don't. I wouldn't say it doesn't give a shit, but they don't give a lot of shits about Save the World. And they're making more money than ever, and they're about to see a lot of it go bye-bye because they're not paying attention to the fact that they had the heaviest player base in the history of gaming. They have the most money in the history of gaming, and they had the worst and most lackluster season that I've ever seen, and the timing was horrible. I was saying a couple weeks ago that the timing was right because the way that they were building up to the end of this season to the beginning of Call of Duty, but instead they had this stupid cube roaming around a map. It fell in a lake and turned the lake into a giant bounce pad. It doesn't add anything really to the game itself. And
nope.
And I think that the only thing that they're going to do is have cool looking skins for next season. And that's it. And who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I know it's pretty dumb. But hey, before we start closing down the podcast, did you hear the news about the Sony PlayStation 1 Classic?
I did. I don't like the price, but I can't wait to see how many games are on there.
It's only 20 games.
Okay. Well, if it's only 20 games, then you're paying $5 per game, and I'll pass. I love the idea.
I'll pass. But this is the thing that pisses me off. So Nintendo released we already went over this in our I think our episode 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it was. But Nintendo released the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic. Now, you can put every, and I mean every, Nintendo game, all 798 of them, I think it is, or whatever, on a 700 megabyte CDR. You know why? Because I have it, and it plays in my Dreamcast, okay?
Yep.
So, for me, for Nintendo to bring out the NES Classic and only have, I think, 30 games on it for $60, okay, that's not bad. But then you got like PlayStation coming in, stealing their idea because they were the first one to do it, and they're calling it the PlayStation 1 Classic. If you're going to sell something for $100 that was never your actual idea, you need to bring a little bit more to the table. You need to bring like 60, 70, 80, maybe 100 games.
What we're seeing here, Joe, is...
Because guess what? You're not going to lose any money, man. Those games are in a dirty-ass cabinet somewhere on a hard drive. All you're going to do is pull them off and load them. That's all you're doing. Well, you're not doing any updated graphics. You're not doing nothing. All you're doing is putting them back on something. I paid for $100. I'm not paying that for 20 games.
No, not at all. I paid, I think it was $15 or $20 for that Sega Classics game. It's a game within virtual reality. It's also a flat game on the PlayStation. And it's got like 50 games on it that are Sega Classic games that are, I think, the same generation maybe a generation prior to the PlayStation 1. But then you have the Atari. There's an Atari game system that you can go buy that has all the Atari games on it, or a bunch of them. There's a Sega. You can go to Walmart right now and buy a Sega, that plugs into your TV.
Yeah, I have that one too. It's I think it's like $50. And it's got like 80 something games on it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, all these games fit. People know. People are not dumb. The ability to put an emulator on your computer. And yes, we know it's illegal, but the ease of it, Jagger could figure it out if he had to.
I mean, I'm not saying like I want every game. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna bring out something and you're wanting to make money off of it and show kids now what we used to play, I'm all for it. But if you're gonna sell something for $100, you need to come with like a shit ton of games, man. 20 games isn't gonna cut.
Well, I'm telling you, Joe, I think there comes a point where the company needs to respect the fact that some of this stuff is ancient and no longer relevant. Yes.
Dude, they've already made millions and millions of dollars off of PS1.
Well, even Nintendo,
why are you trying to make
Nintendo,
a million more,
They're not upscaling the games. They're not making these games like futuristic. They're just the same freaking 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit games. People are not going to play them forever. No one wants to play only classic games. It's fun for nostalgia's sake. It's fun to get in there and play some old games. It's fun to see kids of now playing games of then. But paying $100 for a system like that, you could go buy a PlayStation 1 for less than $100, and you can buy every game on eBay for less than $100. So like, what the?
Yeah, I mean, my argument with Adam earlier was like, if you have a PlayStation 1, now there's one game on like for instance, you talk about the Super Nintendo Classic. They have Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now, for $60, the SNES Classic wasn't bad, because if you go buy an SNES and go buy that game, you're going to spend $100 all day. So, if you bring out certain games on it, yeah, I get it. But the list of games on the PlayStation, they're like garbage, man. Garbage ass games. Like, why would I even? And if it's 20 games for $100.
Yeah.
No,
and I'm looking at it right now. It comes with 2 controllers and obviously an HDMI port. And where's the list of games? I don't see the list of games. But okay, so it has games like Final Fantasy VII.
That's one of the good games. That's like maybe one of the best games on there.
Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer, Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms. I mean, the only game that stands out right there is Final Fantasy VII. I mean, Tekken 3 was awesome.
And Tekken 3
at the time, but now if you play Tekken 3, it feels slow and sluggish, just like we were talking about with Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, and pixelated all to hell.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was awesome, but no one's going to sit there and try to become the best at Tekken 3 right now. They're going to play it a little bit. No. They're going to move on.
So, I don't know, man. It is what it is, but hey.
I'm glad that they're doing it, but I'm pissed off at the price. Sony, I was actually talking about this, and we can I know we got to get going here, but Sony is about to lose the next console war. I'm saying that because I'm a big Sony guy now. I used to be an Xbox guy, but I didn't like what Microsoft was doing as they went from the 360 to the One. I couldn't stand the fact that they called their next system the One. Just from a naming concept alone, I thought it was so stupid. But there was also a lot of concern around security and the ability to go, use your disc. They were saying you could only use your disc on one system. You couldn't bring it over to a friend's house and play it there, and people were flipping out about that. And then they said you had to have your Kinect, and it had to be on at all times. People were flipping out about that. They thought that was ridiculous, and it was ridiculous. Why the fuck do you have to buy a Kinect with this, and why does it have to be on? Like, it's a camera. I don't need it to play a freaking game. And then they had you must be online at all times to play, and people flipped out about that. And then they said they weren't going to do any rollback, any old games. They've changed their stance on every aspect of that, but they took a hit to get there. Xbox lost a ton of revenue, and they lost the console war for this generation because Sony, they turned around and they heard the feedback from Microsoft, and they did the different thing. They said, okay, we're going to include a camera, but you don't have to use it. We're going to do this and that, but you don't have to you can bring your disc and put it on somebody else's system and play it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the smarter of the two, but
On top of
I don't
that,
know. It is.
well,
It is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say, on top of that, they enhanced the system with more power, and it was a better system, and it didn't cost that much more. It was just a really all around. Sony did a good job. Well, right now, you hear with the Fortnite and what's that soccer car game that everyone
Rocket
plays?
League?
Rocket League. They do this. They are hindering cross platform play because they have the market right now. And people are going to remember that. People are going to remember that they didn't get to use their Fortnite profile on their Switch or on their Xbox One because Sony didn't let them. They're going to remember that kind of stuff. And Sony's playing the game. Now, Sony will either change their mind at the last minute and allow this stuff so that people don't migrate over to Xbox. They'll probably do something like that. But people are not going to forget. And they're going to say the next console war, the next time Xbox and Sony, and we're only 2 years away, man. 2 years from now, we're going to be seeing a new PlayStation and we're going to be seeing a new Xbox. And it's going to be up to Sony to try to change people's minds and let them, because look, hey, you and I are both digital. We buy a lot of our games digital, right? Rather than disc. So
yeah.
Is the Sony PlayStation 5 going to allow us to carry that library over? You know it's not. You know they're not going to say, hey, you have all these games in your library, go ahead and play them on the 5. But they fucking should. They absolutely should. You know? I mean, we bought them all. The 5 should be able to play any of the 4 games. There should be no reason why I can't go just buy the 5 and play it.
If you look at the past history, none of the other shit's cross-play, or not cross-play, but
backwards compatible. But
I don't know. We'll see.
But you know they're capable. And all I'm saying is Sony's going to play the money game. You know they're not going to do it, but they should. My point is they should do it, and we'll see what happens. But when you see a game like the classic PlayStation console come out, and it's $100 freaking for, a 15, 20-year-old technology, it pisses me off. And
yeah, I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
Anyways, I know we've been talking for a lot longer than we were supposed to. Today was supposed to be like, a 40-minute episode. We hit about an hour and 20 and change. So what I'm gonna do, Joe, and if you're around tomorrow, maybe I'll hit you up. I know my wife's parents are gonna be in town, so I don't know how much time I'll be able to have, but I want to get like a 5 or 10 minute review on Bow to Blood. My quick review here for this, because I said at the beginning we were gonna do it. So my quick review here is check out my post on the backlogexposed.com. I gave this game an 82, and I think that's a strong score. I mean, you want to give every good game a really high score and every bad game a really low score, but an 80 is a good score for a game. And this is a game that popped up out of nowhere. It wasn't even on my radar. It was like, oh, Bow to Blood, what is this? It just released. And Tribe Toys, the company that provided me the review copy, it's something that I'm going to play some more of. It's so different. It's like a flying game, right, where you're navigating around, but you're in a giant ship that can fly, and you have to control the ship. You have 2 helpers, and you gotta tell the helpers what to do. You gotta say, hey, go man the engines, or man the guns, or man the shield, and they help you navigate through these rounds. They've integrated a first-person shooter style in a slow-paced ship game, right, where you're flying around, but also you have to control the ship, and you have to do all the things. You have to man the engines and all that fun stuff. And then they've integrated politics into it. It's tournament style, and they have randomly generated enemies. And each round, each tournament, you have to go through, and basically, if you're in the last 2 in the point totals for each round, you can be voted off like Survivor. So in between rounds, you have the different enemies, the cutscenes where they talk to you, and you can kind of pick and choose who you like and hate, and you can build alliances, or you can find out that they're stabbing you in the back. It's so cool. They've actually added all these different styles into one game that makes it its own genre, in my opinion. It's listed as an action adventure game, but it's something I definitely think you should check out if you have a PSVR. And I'm going to do a longer review for it, just an independent review, so that I can share this with them, and so that all of our customer base who's interested in PlayStation VR specifically can listen to it. But I say get it. I say if you have a PSVR, try it out. I hope that they put out a demo, because I think that this game needs a demo. No video will really do it justice. So Bow to Blood, I give it an 82. and I'll do a longer review in the coming days here on the podcast. Joe, do you have any other questions about that? Or are you going to wait for the full review?
I mean, I'm good. I'm gonna wait for the review with you. I'll try and watch some gameplay with you, or do like a live stream with you playing, and I'll check it out or something.
Absolutely, yeah, it's pretty cool. That being said, that's all I've got. Joe, what do you got for us? You want to wrap us up?
That's all I got. Thanks for listening, guys. Check our website out, thebacklogexposed.com. Check us out on Twitter, at the Backlog Pod. Check out our YouTube as well. We got some reviews going on the backlogexposed.com. Check those reviews out. I got one of Spider-Man. Kevin's wrote a couple of one for the VR game, and then I believe, what was that called? Almost Human, or what was that one called?
Detroit Become Human. I'll also do another one there, another short recording of that as well, because that game was phenomenal. I think it was just it's a different style game as well. But yeah, check it out. Check out these reviews, man.
Check us out, man, and write us any comments you have, or any ideas you got, or games you're playing that we should play, and we'll do reviews on. And share the reviews, share the podcast, because we're starting to grow, and those shares help a lot. Sure does. But other than that, that's all I got. I'm Joe. I'm Kevin. And we are the Backlog Exposed. Thanks, everybody. Take care, Joe.